Following in the footsteps of this generation's greatest basketball player, LeBron James, is no easy task. However, living in the James household is just as difficult. Keep watching to find out the strange rules LeBron James makes his son Bronny James follow.
Bronny, what you doing over there?
Nothing.
Let me get that.
NBA expectations. Let's start with the unsaid rule. The expectation to play in the NBA alongside his father. This might be the most intimidating rule of them all. Although LeBron has never blatantly told Bronny this, his actions make it clear. Don't believe me? How about the fact that LeBron named his own son, LeBron James Jr., after himself? Bronny's path was paved before he was even born. Poor dude was expected to become the second coming of his father, a four-time MVP and champion. Still, with this being said, sharing a name isn't enough to declare causation. Yet, LeBron has done more than name his son after himself. He has also gone as far as to set his own future goals, which are reliant on his son. One of these goals is to play in the NBA alongside Bronny. That's a lot of pressure on Bronny. Bronny is currently a junior in high school, which means he will graduate high school in 2023. At the rate that his stock is trending, this would allow for Bronny to either spend a year in the G League or become another subject of the one-and-done rule set for college basketball players, where elite talents only spend a year in college before entering the NBA draft. Assuming Bronny takes one of these routes and shows enough glimpses of greatness to be drafted, this would put him in the 2024 NBA draft. This means that LeBron needed to play at least 2 more seasons following the 2021-22 season to have a chance to play with his son. At the rate LeBron's career is going, playing another 2 seasons is a very doable task. Even at 36 years of age, LeBron is still playing MVP-caliber basketball and shows no sign of slowing down. Despite setting a realistic goal for himself, this goal ultimately puts a boatload of expectations on Bronny James. Don't get me wrong though, Bronny James is a 5-star recruit and expected to be a big name at the next level. But we've seen too many what-if stories. Basketball prodigies are subject to human emotions, just like the rest of us, and often the pressure stemming from these giant expectations causes things to go haywire. Anthony Bennett, O.J. Mayo, and Greg Oden are just a few names of high school and college superstars who succumbed to the pressure. Regardless, if LeBron and Bronny are able to team up at the highest level, it would mark the first time in NBA history where a father and son duo played together. In fact, it would mark only the second time in sports history, behind the MLB's Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr., who played on the Mariners together over 3 decades ago. As fans, we would love to see it. Family issues become personal. While the expectation to play in the NBA may be a rule only unique to the James household, LeBron's next rule for Bronny is one many of us can all relate to. This popular rule can be summed up in 5 words. Family beef is personal beef. Initially, this rule seems simple and easy. When someone in your family who you love is hurt, you should be hurt too. Yet this rule is anything but easy for Bronny. That's because, unlike most of us, LeBron is a celebrity, subject to the entire world's opinions. When you are as popular as LeBron, your every move is seemingly tracked. Unsurprisingly, you then become a polarizing figure, whether you intend to be one or not. Although many argue that LeBron has done a pretty good job in the spotlight so far, that doesn't make him immune from the beef. This especially applies to on the court, as even the beloved Warriors guard Stephen Curry has had his share of beef. For LeBron James, some of his biggest on-the-court beef has boiled down to players such as Lance Stevenson and more recently Isaiah Stewart. It's still hard to get that Isaiah Stewart incident out of my mind. That was insane. But it wasn't Stewart's fight with LeBron, Stevenson blowing in LeBron's face, or even Green kicking LeBron in the no-no zone that caused Bronny to take LeBron's beef into his own hands. In fact, it was Joakim Noah who was the subject of Bronny's recent Twitch rant. Former Defensive Player of the Year and Chicago Bull Joakim Noah had beef with LeBron going back as far as James's first stint with the Cavaliers. Starting in 2010, LeBron and the Cavs faced off against Noah's Bulls in a playoff series. While the Cavs wound up easily winning the series in 5 games, Noah felt disrespected by LeBron's dancing and mockery of the Bulls during the season. Noah felt he would return the favor by telling the media that the city of Cleveland sucks. For LeBron, he took this personally because he grew up near Cleveland in Akron, Ohio as a kid. Since this incident, the two have had their fair share of beef over numerous occasions, including a fight where both were ejected. Seeing the way Noah treated LeBron, it's no wonder Bronny was quick to dish out disrespect to Noah. While watching highlights from a 2020 bout between LeBron's Lakers and Noah's Clippers in the NBA bubble, Bronny went as far to say, "Why does Joakim Noah look homeless? Why does he look homeless? Bro, they have a barbershop in the bubble. Go to the barbershop." Coincidence? I think not. This was family beef, so it became Bronny's business. Although verbally attacking a 6'11" man 20 years older than you is a gutsy move.
Why does Joakim Noah look homeless? Why does he look homeless? Bro, what?
Media matters. That last rule would be difficult for most of us in Bronny's footsteps. But is it as difficult as dealing with the media? That's because the next rule LeBron makes Bronny follow is to be careful when using social media. For many of us, we'd be happy to gain a large following on a social media platform like Instagram or YouTube. But with that large following comes an equally large responsibility. Handling the media is no joke. Being the son of LeBron James and a budding NBA superstar, Bronny practically inherited a large following. He currently has over 6 million Instagram followers, and some of his YouTube highlight tapes have accumulated over 1 million views. Fortunately for LeBron, he's been able to teach Bronny a thing or two in managing this media fame. LeBron himself has over 100 million Instagram followers and 20 million Facebook followers, so it's safe to say he knows how to handle the media. In fact, due to his own experience with social media and fame as a teenager, LeBron and Bronny waited 3 years when he was in middle school before he was allowed to have an Instagram account. Even when Bronny did start his Instagram page, he's been fairly quiet. So far, he's only posted about 25 times and takes periodic breaks from Instagram. Despite stressing the importance of properly managing social media, Bronny has made his fair share of mistakes like many others. This includes a mistake he made on Twitter in early 2020, where Bronny accidentally posted a video of himself smoking on his story before quickly deleting it. Unfortunately, the damage was done, and the whole world soon knew about it. I'm sure LeBron and Bronny had a long conversation about that one. Yikes. Live your own life. So far, these rules have been pretty hard to follow, although some would argue that's called being a good parent. No matter your stance on these rules, I think everyone will agree with LeBron's next rule for Bronny.
Worst thing that you can do right now is be on social media, and I know all young guys love social media, so that definitely can't help.
Live your own life. Sometimes it's easy to become intimidated as LeBron's son, and it's easier to live in his shadows, but that's not what LeBron wants for Bronny. He wants Bronny to experience life for himself, and Bronny has certainly not backed down from this rule. As it turns out, Bronny isn't afraid to make headlines or to shoot his own shots, quite literally. Recently, Bronny put his shoes on the line in a free throw competition against famous social media personality Never Miss Allie. Never Miss Allie is a TikToker known for her pranks, basketball trick shots, and bets regarding shoe wear. The free throw competition was simple. Whoever made more free throws in a row got to keep the other person's shoes. Unfortunately, Never Miss Allie went first and never looked back, as she sank 8 free throws in a row. With the stakes high, Bronny James was able to drain 2 free throws of his own in a row before missing and losing his shoes. Although Never Miss Allie gave Bronny a second chance, the result didn't change. Bronny had to walk home with no shoes. I bet Bronny wishes he brought a backup pair of shoes with him. Ouch, those feet must have been hurting. Speaking of quite literally shooting his shot, he also made his move with a model back in May of 2020. After taking 3 weeks off from social media due to his incident, Bronny came back by liking a post from Instagram model Isabel. He commented on this post as well by sending a princess emoji, to which Isabel replied by sending Bronny a prince emoji. It appears Bronny is quite the flirter.
Just because she has a pretty face does not mean she has pretty...
Family comes first. This rule likely feels weird because, as a father, LeBron is doing something his father never did, spending time with his family. Growing up, the only biological family LeBron knew was having a single mother, so LeBron wants to make sure that history doesn't repeat itself like with his father. While LeBron was surrounded by friends and other parents who treated him as their own child in his childhood, not knowing his father is something that affected LeBron to his core. As it turns out, his father was constantly in prison and causing trouble, which prevented him from playing a role in LeBron's life. According to LeBron, "My whole thing was, whenever I have a kid, not only is he going to be a junior, but I'm going to do everything this man didn't do." If this is a mission statement, it appears LeBron is succeeding so far. LeBron has proven to be a supportive parent who shows up to Bronny's AAU games and shows up for Bronny's biggest life moments, among other things. This rule is a life philosophy, which LeBron hopes that Bronny takes with him. LeBron doesn't just want Bronny to be a good brother to his siblings, but he also wants Bronny to be a great father and to positively influence his own kids someday. Now that's deep. Let's hope Bronny continues to follow through with this rule. So far, he's definitely succeeding. This past Christmas, Bronny spent quality time playing basketball with his younger sister in the driveway by having her throw alley-oops to him. It seems Bronny has taken a page out of the LeBron book, who has played his fair share of driveway basketball with Bronny as well. In addition to playing driveway basketball with his sister, Bronny has also used social media to bond with his family. If you don't buy it, watch for yourself, as Bronny has been enlisting his whole family in TikTok videos that he's been posting. Now that's wholesome. Time will tell. Following all of LeBron's rules can be challenging for Bronny at times, but they all come as a result of his own personal experiences and regrets. Only time will tell what effect these rules truly have on Bronny James.